Yeah, welcome to another episode of the Racer X Exhaust Podcast, brought to you by Yoshimura. They have the Chileo pedal, flat pedal for your bicycle, now available in two sizes, large and also now small for riders with smaller feet. Maybe I got to get one for my son, who I'm basically able to not stop riding a bicycle all day, every day, and sometimes a dirt bike. And really, we had plenty of time to do these things until now, because I am in Salt Lake City, Utah, because Monster Energy Supercross is back. I'm going to get these podcasts recorded here on a Thursday morning, and then I head over to Rice Eccles Stadium to get the COVID-19 test. And from what I've seen from other riders who have taken it yesterday, really looks like an enjoyable experience. But whatever, man. As I've been saying, we got to put our money where our mouth is. We all want to get back to work. We all want our jobs. We want the economy to reopen. So if something's uncomfortable, something's weird, or honestly, for me, even if something's a little risky, that's a risk I'm going to have to take. And that's what the Supercross industry is about to do starting this Sunday. Racing, by the way, will be on NBC. It'll be very, very big for the sport to get an NBC date when a lot of other sports aren't back. So we'll see how that goes. Go to RacerXOnline.com for the television schedule. And also, while you're there, sign up to subscribe. Go to RacerXOnline.com/Weege, WEEGE, and subscribe using my link so I get the credit and people like Steve Mathis and Daniel Blair don't, because they have their own links. But I'm not going to tell you what they are, because I want you to use mine. And it's easy to sign up, and it's cheap, too. It's only 99 cents for 3 issues of the magazine digitally, and it's $2.99 if you want to throw in the print subscription as well. I highly recommend it. We work really hard on that, okay? So read it. Also, as mentioned, Yoshimura, our sponsor. Go to yoshimuracycling.com if you want one of those made in the USA Chileo sets of pedals. And also the new RS12 exhaust system. It's all new. It's awesome. It sounds good. It looks good. It's lightweight. It's now available for the Yamaha YZ250F, and orders for those exhaust systems are shipping now. So go to yoshimura-rd.com or your dealer that stocks Yoshimura products and get an RS12 exhaust if you have a YZ250F. Now let's get to our interview subjects. We've got a pair of teammates on the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha team, one in the East, one in the West. They're both second in points. We're going to start out with Shane McElrath. And I really like this one because Shane has thoughts well beyond just the COVID-19 and how it affects racing situation, but also how it affects everything else. So here is Shane McElrath.
All right, man, this is weird. No more speculation. We're really going racing. And so I ask everybody the same thing. Do you almost feel a little rushed or stressed or like, oh, man, I got to get ready? How do you take now actually having a date?
Well, I'm going to start by saying it's good to see you again. I always enjoy seeing you, hearing your voice. Like, dude, it gets me excited. You know, I'm like, dude, there's Jason Weigandt. He's always pumping everybody up. So,
all right.
I'm really excited now that we have a date.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, for a while, it almost feels like the work you're doing feels like it's in vain, because you're just like, dude, what are we working towards? Like, you get in that routine, like we have to hold a tempo so high to stay in good shape. Well, with nothing like set in stone on schedule wise, it's like, dude, mentally you're like, I don't know how long I can keep this up with no guarantee. It's like, dude, I need a break, one, but it's like we can't do anything. We can't go anywhere. We still got to be training. We still got to be taking our recovery seriously and our eating. And it's like, dude, how much longer can we just keep going at this?
I'm glad you actually admitted that, because I think everybody now that they see the end, they're like, oh, it's been good. I've just been doing the same thing. I haven't really backed it off that much. You're the first guy I've heard that actually like illustrated how weird it was to have nothing like to fight for, but to also assume I better just keep fighting. It had to be so strange.
Yeah. Well, especially at first it was like really, so the weekend of Indy, like Joy and I had like a 14-hour travel day or something. because we flew to Indy and back in the same day, and we had layovers on both flights, and so it was a long day.
Yeah.
Well, then like Saturday morning we actually got to sleep in, or Friday morning we got to sleep in, which was nice. The weekend was like I think I did a bike ride on Saturday, but it was like, okay, well, we don't know what to do because I'm supposed to be racing today, and it's like, okay, well, we'll just kind of take the weekend easy, really. And then the West Coast guys were already on outdoors at that point, but I didn't have an outdoor 250. Like, I didn't have a bike set up to just try and go ride. So I did have a 450 that we ride ever so often. So the week after Indy, I spent 2 days on outdoors on that. And that was kind of when everything was still like, oh, well, this race got canceled, that race got canceled. So it's like, okay, well, we'll just focus on outdoors. Like that's in the distant future. And we are kind of behind with racing East Coast anyway, and spending time on the Yamaha because I only spent like 2 weeks when I first got on the bike on outdoors. So it was just really getting used to the bike and then straight to Supercross. So it took a while to get the outdoor 250. And once we started on outdoors, it was like things just continued to degress. And it was like, okay, I think our third weekend, maybe not till our fourth weekend, we went down to just 1 day of riding during the week. But it was just, it was weird. It was like, okay, well, we have other stuff that we need to be doing, like stuff around the house or taking care of other things. I mean, we just were in 4 weeks straight of race season when nothing really gets done anywhere except at the track and at the races. So it's like, it was it was probably the fourth or fifth week before we were like, okay, this is probably going to be a while. Like, we can relax a little bit. And then it was 1 day a week. And there was 1 week we didn't get to ride because it rained all week in California, which was bizarre. But it was like, okay, well, we'll try to ride this week. If not, it's no big deal. And it's like, oh, sweet. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
So,
you were waiting for that.
Yeah.
I've heard you allude to in some other interviews and things that you're one of the only guys I know that has said, like, hey, there are other things to think about than just riding and training with this, or even into the future. We don't know if things are ever going to go back to exactly the same, or if so, it might be a while. It seems like you've thought about this more than just from a racing standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I mean, we're raised in motocross. We're raised to dedicate our lives to this. And for me, being a Christian, that's the first thing that has made me realize, like, dude, motocross is, one, it's a job, but it's like, dude, people retire before they're 30. Yeah. It's like, then there's 70 years, give or take, left of your life. It's like, dude, motocross is very small. And so just with our marriage, like, there's so many things that can be worked on instead of like, gotta train, gotta ride, gotta continue to just put all our time and effort into this when there's no guarantee that we even could race the rest of the year at that point. So it's like, well, let's enjoy ourselves right now. Let's just relax. Let's go try to do things that we don't normally get to do. I mean, we couldn't really leave, but it's like, oh, well, let's drive here because I don't have to go to bed at a certain time, and let's go visit here, and let's spend time with family. And just, so there's a lot of things that really we all need to continue working on. And I think it's a perfect time. Like, to me, that's when we need to work on, like, ourselves. It's like, we're working on our craft, especially in the off season. It's like, we call it boot camp, but it's like mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's like, we got to prepare ourselves for battle, like, in all areas. And now with time off, it's like, okay, well, let's go back to building, and let's be strong in every area of our life.
It's funny. I did an interview with Rick Johnson, like the legend from the 1980s, and he actually had coronavirus and got through it. And then he said one of the craziest things. He's like, but we've all, that sucked dealing with it. But at the same time, we got to spend more time with family. Maybe we didn't have to be so hyper-focused on the same daily goals. And he's like, I almost wish that we should all have a little COVID in our lives sometimes. It allowed everyone to focus on things that we totally take for granted. So I guess the question now is, can any of us actually keep doing that? Or are we just going to go right back into the same rut? It's kind of the challenge that we all have now to take a little bit of positive that we got out of this and try to keep it. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I think it's been really convicting just to have to slow down, to have to look around and see what we've been doing with our time. It's like if you like look around, like we have to be honest with ourselves. Like, man, am I using my time for what I should be? Am I doing what I should be, not necessarily what I want to do? And I mean, it's been really cool to see the impact that it's had on even just where we are in Marietta, California. It's like, yeah, people went a little crazy, but dude, the amount of people that I've seen outside walking, running, riding bicycles, it's like, this is amazing. This is like a massive vacation. Like you see, when you go to a vacation, you see people out enjoying themselves and just to see people walking around, like getting fresh air. It's like, dude, this is so cool to see. And I mean, some friends that work like 9 to 5s and sometimes longer than that, like really having to get stuck at home, but they're like, dude, yeah, our pay was cut or we're laid off, but dude, I've never had time with my family like this. And I've never gotten to do some of these things. And it's like, if that's not convicting to anybody, it's like, dude, we need a heart check. That's it's crazy just to see. And even with Rick, like he was really transparent about everything that he went through. And that's crazy for us leading into next weekend. Like, dude, there's people that don't have any signs that test positive for it. So it's like, man, I feel great. I'm healthy. Everything's good. But I'm like, I hope I pass.
You know what? I don't think anyone's thinking about that. That's a really good point. I mean, literally, if you do not pass, you're not racing. You're in title contention, you're out. I mean, they're clear. They're like, it's just like a concussion. The doctor will say, you're done. And that's right. I mean, you guys are young, healthy guys. There's a chance that you don't know it. I hadn't even thought of this.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like there were some of the 450 guys, like the first couple of rounds were like really sick.
Oh, yeah.
And there's during Supercross, there's usually always people that race when they're sick. And some are worse than others. And so it's like some people could have already had it. Some people may not get it at all. But it's like there's such a big unknown that it's like passing the test is like the first race of next weekend. Like, that's
a good point.
And
we're used to your job, my job. If I got to show up for TV, I got to show up no matter what. If you got to race, you got to race no matter what. So what we're used to is if you're sick, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be hard, but you're still going to do it. We've never really had the situation where, oh, now I don't have a choice. They're just telling me I'm out, whether I want to tough it out or not. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. And just reading the restart plan and everything, like it's pretty strict, and it's well, actually it's really strict and kind of irritating. And I know it's really what we have to do to get back racing, but it's like there's so much room for one little slip up that there's no telling what can happen. And so it's like, as a racer, to have to think about those even just a little bit is really tough, because on race day, there's nothing else I'm thinking about, like at all. And so it's like, it's going to be tough. I mean, not only for myself, but riders, team, personnel. Like, that's the least thing we think about on race day is getting close to somebody. I mean, saying hey to somebody. Like, we're there to do our job, and to have this whole list of things to keep in the back of our mind, it's going to be hard.
And then there's some very basic things that have changed. You know, no track walk. You can only talk to your team. And then you guys also can't have your mechanics go to the starting line, right? So those are big things, not even little details that I'm assuming going to be a lot different.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be wild. I mean, we can set our whole shot buttons like back behind the starting gate.
Okay.
So I assume, I mean,
You're gonna have to.
we're going to have to, like, that's kind of a non-negotiable. And, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to just roll up, get in our gate. And I really don't, I don't know how to think about it, because there's so many things like, oh, we walk past somebody here, we might have to scrub up against somebody there or do anything. And it's like, dude, I'm here to line up and race. I'm not here to like tiptoe around everywhere and make sure I don't, oh, I'm sorry, I got too close here. It's like, dude, like tunnel vision. Yeah.
So are you worried about that? Like, are you worried, like, oh man, will that distract my focus? Or is it end up when you're on the motorcycle that all stuff gets blocked out anyway?
I'm not really worried about it. Like I said, once we show up, it's like tunnel vision. There's nothing. It's in some cases it's hard to distract us, and in others it's like once we get focused on something, it's like we don't even hear things at that point. So it's I mean, I'm not really worried about it. It's more like I'm not worried about doing stuff. It's like I'm people may have to tell us like, hey, you need to stop doing this or do that. And it's like, I'm focused. Yeah.
All right. We'll keep that in mind. You have a built-in excuse. If you seem like you weren't listening, it's not that you don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we are going back racing, what have the last couple of weeks been like? I mean, has it been like boot camp part 2? Are there things that you learned from the first few races you did that you get to apply now? What's this going to look like? Totally different or exactly what you were already doing?
Honestly, I'm really excited because so our last 4 weeks of outdoors that we did like a whole another training block, like a whole off season pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And we just finished our 5th week of Supercross. So as soon as there was like word that we could go racing, like we might have already gotten on Supercross, but we've really just been 2 days a week, like making sure we get quality riding in and just doing our training like very efficiently, but very productive. And so it's like with the team, it's like I have a 1-year deal, and leading up through the off season, it was like, sweet, we got time to work. But at the same time, like 6-8 weeks is not really much time at all. So really these last 2 months have been really huge for myself and the team, and fitness wise, and just learning the bike even more, that I'm really excited to go back to racing. And like Daytona, I was really happy with my riding. Like Daytona was the best I rode. Like we had made some bike changes prior to that, and it was like, dude, my bike is awesome. And I fell twice in the main, and so I ended up 5th, but that was like the best I rode. So it was like exciting to go to Indy. I was like fired up, ready to go. And then we get there like, hey, show's canceled. So it's, I'm excited because I think we're in a much better position than we were. I mean, we took some very good steps before Daytona, and Daytona was more of like learning the bike some more. But now it's like, okay, I've spent time on the bike. I've really worked on like the training program a lot more, and just really got more experience on this bike and this team now. And so I'm really excited to get to racing.
Yeah, it gets a little misleading because your very first race for the team, you totally dominated the race. So it looks like, well, they're already at max. Did you know leaving Tampa, okay, I won, but there's other things I need to learn? Or did you actually think you had somehow nailed it in the very first race on the Yamaha?
No, I think Tampa was a good start. Like it was, I mean, I was still like in shock that we made it there. Like just, that was something that Joy and I had been praying for. It's like, God, we don't know what you have in store for us, but we're just trying to do the best we can. And to show up at Tampa, that was like the first goal. It's like, oh my gosh, we're here. Like 8 months ago, there's 6 months ago, we had no idea that we would even be here. Like no shot. And so now, like, or speaking of then at Tampa, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're here. But then it was like a win. It was just like, wow, like I can't believe that. Like it wasn't that good, but I won. It's like, sweet. Like this is just amazing. And then Arlington, I actually felt way better than at Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I just had I had some bike problems the first main, and second main I ended up second, and the last one I won. It was like, it was frustrating because of the progress that we made all day resulted in a second. Like I really felt like I rode well enough to win. We just had some problems throughout the day. So Atlanta was really my low point, like bike setup wise. I up until that point, I was really on the same stuff that I rode with during the off season. Like, man, I love this stuff. It's working great. But Atlanta was the first soft track we really rode. So that was where it really stood out to me. Like, okay, this bike that's set up pretty good for California didn't work so good on the Atlanta soil. So the team, they were like, here, we want you to try this. We think it's really going to help out. And we changed like gearing and suspension. And it was like night and day, like best week I had after Atlanta. And Atlanta, I was bummed because I was just like maxed out. Like I just felt like I couldn't go any faster, and I was just fighting it everywhere. And I was bummed because I ended up third, but I could not go forward at all. I was like, dude, these guys are right here, but I just can't go. And so it was really frustrating then, but coming into Daytona, it was like the bike felt awesome. Qualifying went great, and even the heat race. And then I just got together with Jordan on the first lap, and we both went down. And so then I went down again later. But yeah, I mean, we've made very good progress, and that's the part I'm super excited about, is just the openness to change. I mean, even going back to changing teams, it's like now to be here, it's like, all right, guys, I need to constantly be reminded to try things, because I don't want to just settle for something good when we can have something great.
So what's the plan for you in Salt Lake City? The East guys get a bunch of races in, I think 3 in a row. Then there's a little break. You can conceivably leave. Everybody I've talked to said, no, there's no reason to even go back. So what are you going to do? You're going to stay there the whole time?
Yeah. The team rented a big Airbnb house out there. So we're all going to be staying together. So it's going to be cool. We are taking our practice bikes, like Colt and myself, for just in case. I mean, we're going to try and ride at least once, because having 10 days off the bike isn't really ideal to go straight into a race.
Right.
So we're going to try to get at least one day of riding in, but yeah, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But we're definitely not leaving Utah. At least we're just loading up the car, and we're going to drive up there and spend some time with the team.
It's weird, because I think when it first came out, I'm thinking, man, this is going to be a disaster. These guys are creatures of habit. They're used to going back to their track, being able to test just like they're used to, their normal gym, their normal everything. That was maybe the first few days. But now that I think everybody's booked their Airbnbs and realized, wait, I don't even have to get on a plane. This is actually going to be kind of fun now that everybody's started to realize what this will look like.
Yeah, and I think at first with the talk about the hotel, that was probably going to be a little tougher. Right. Like, okay, well, how exactly are we going to do this?
Yeah.
But then the team was like, hey, we're thinking about getting a big house. Would you guys want to stay? And they sent us the link, and it's a dialed-in house, and it's a comfortable house. So it's like, oh yeah, well that would be way better than the hotel. So
yeah.
It's I mean, for myself and Joy, we kind of joke about it now, like we live out of our suitcases pretty much. Like we really keep them packed. I mean, I usually take my clothes to the races in like a little helmet bag, and I still have that same helmet bag packed from Indy. Like, wow. I got this team shirt out of there to put on for this.
Unbelievable.
Interview. Like it's still got my coat and toboggan and everything in it. So it's I mean, other than like workout equipment, and we're going to take our bicycles.
Yeah.
And but yeah, for the most part, it's going to be pretty routine for us. I mean, we're used to being in our little apartment and just traveling light pretty much.
Yeah, so not that big a change. And so the riding, you'll probably ride a little bit in between. And then the other thing people are wondering about is elevation. Any idea how that might affect training or even the bike?
I think it's we've kind of talked about it a little bit. Bike-wise, we're not really worried too much about it. I mean, everybody's going to be lesser in power. Everybody's going to have to make changes accordingly, but we've always done well with that. And the Yamaha has great power, so I'm not really worried about it too much. I mean, those guys like Brad are the guy who tunes our bikes. He's kind of like a second team manager. He's crazy on the computer and he's really good at what he does. So, I mean, I don't worry about that at all. And elevation wise, I've never really spent time in elevation. So, that's kind of something we're not sure about. Like, I don't know. It's like, hey, are we going to have to deal with elevation sickness or whatever? Like, I've never had a problem with going to like the elevated races, but I don't know really anything about that. So it's, we're kind of just going to have to wait and see.
Where is this championship for you? You've been able to stay in the class an extra year. You got in a new team. You win the opener. Obviously, you're a contender, but you've been a contender for 3 or 4 years now. If you do not get this title, is it like crushing or is it just part of the deal? Like, do you look at this like an absolute must? Obviously, you're going to try, but where is it in your mind as far as where this title lays for you?
I mean, this is why I came to this team. It's like I wanted to change. I wanted a fresh shot. I wanted to just eliminate any variables that I thought may be hindering me. And it was like, I don't know specifically what that is, but it's like, I want to try something. And for me, it's like, this is something that I really want to do. It's like a milestone in the 250 class. It's like, I mean, obviously the goal is to race the 450 class, but it's like, I don't want to move up to the 450 class whenever that is and not like have a title. Like that's like a dream. It's a goal. It's like nothing else matters at this point. It's like 450, like, cool, I got something to focus on right now. I got to finish this championship. And that's like priority number one. It's like, I really don't want to leave without a number one play. Like and I mean, outdoors too, like I want to win both, but it's like, I'm running out of chances. Like I'm tired of getting second. I'm tired of getting third. Like I hate losing. And so it's like, I'm ready to do this.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome to hear because you had this great perspective on, the other things we got to focus on, but it sounds like now that the switch is back on and we're going racing, it has not changed your dedication or anything like that to the craft.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is my job. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. And I like to win and I hate losing. Like I mean, I want to represent the team well. I want to do what they work to do as well. It's like, I mean, they took a chance on me. I took a chance on my whole career. Like coming here, it's like, dude, I'm willing to do this. I'm ready to do this. And it's like, I'm going to have my shot soon.
Well, look, it has to have flashed before your eyes, like any one of us in the industry, that maybe we wouldn't race at all. Maybe they would not come back this year, or maybe it would never even come back. Who knows? So it's got to give you a little bit of like, man, any little thing that was bothering me, at least I'm back. At least I get to do my job. It's got to be refreshing just from that perspective. At one point, you must have been worried.
Yeah, it was really tough because it's like, dude, we need to figure out, like, do we wait it out or do we try to start working on something else? Like I signed up for DoorDash. I created an account. I've been trying to get my
For real?
I've been trying to get my bank account connected to my DoorDash so I can start, and that thing's giving me problems, so I have to call them. But yeah, it's like, all right.
If you got the bank account figured out, would you have done it at one point?
Oh, for sure. I was ready. I'm like, dude, we're sitting in here doing nothing. I'm tired of playing video games all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I got to do something, like drive around. Like, I'll go deliver.
So even though you're doing some training and riding, it wasn't a full day. Like, you still had time.
Yeah. Yeah. We started doing gym in Swanee's gym. So it's like on days that we don't ride,
Yeah.
it's like we get up, we do anywhere from 1 to 2.5 hour bike rides. Some days inside. So it's like we didn't have to go anywhere.
Yep.
And then we do gym, and it's like, dude, we're done by at the latest 1 o'clock on those days.
I see.
Like riding takes obviously longer, and sometimes like we'll ride later in the day. And so the riding days are pretty booked, but it's like I have 3 to 4 other days during the week where it's like the second half of my day is like pretty much resting, but it's like I can rest while I'm driving around.
DoorDash. Wow.
Yeah.
There's some perspective for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what you could do? Since we've got 2 races, it's like a 10-day span where you don't have to race in Utah.
Yeah.
You should do it there.
I might.
Okay.
Let all you guys know in the moto industry that I'm dashing.
Okay. Oh, that'll be awesome if you come to the door and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, that's some perspective right there. All right. Well, this has been awesome. Obviously, everybody's happy that we're back. It seems like it's not going to be that big of a hassle to do it. But most importantly, just now that we got this perspective of what it's like to not have racing, it's going to make it that much better when we're back to doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm excited to see everybody. Like it's like Kenny's mechanic, Jordan Truxell. I'm pretty good friends with him. He came over yesterday and got a haircut from Joy. And he's like, man, it's good to see you. I ain't seen you in a while. I'm like, dang, maybe it has been that long.
It has.
Yeah. So it's going to be good to see everybody.
All right. Yeah, this is cool. Well, thanks for the time. Apparently, it's not stressing you that much. You seem to have plenty of time. So
yeah. Yeah, we got time.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, one last thing. Will you clean that shirt at all, or is it going right back in the helmet bag, the shirt you have on right now?
Right back in the bag.
All right. So when we see it at the first race, it's this same shirt.
It's broken in.
Okay, that's what
it is. It's broken in, yeah.
All right, good luck. The battle resumes next Sunday. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
All right, Shane McElrath, thank you.
Boom. So there's Shane, who has some points to make up now on Chase Sexton, and he's been in this 250 class a while. He really, really, really wants this title. He's been in the battle, I think this is the 4th year he's been a genuine title threat and had shares of the points lead at one point. Will this be the year that he seals the deal? And it's the same thing a little bit for his teammate Justin Cooper. Now, Cooper's newer to this. It's only his 2nd Supercross season. But I feel like since the day Cooper turned pro, he has been in the battle. He's been in the battle for race wins, and then in any full season, he's been in the battle for championships. That includes the East last year, where he finished 2nd to Chase Sexton, and right now he's 2nd to his teammate Dylan Ferrandis. Now, Cooper got a little heat when this lockdown first started. He did an interview with our Eric Johnson on RacerXOnline.com and said that he's getting compared a lot to Ryan Dungey because he's always in the fight, he's always consistent and on the podium, but he wants more than that. He doesn't want podiums, now he wants wins. And then, of course, he took some heat. How could you disrespect a great champion like Ryan Dungey? You should be happy to be compared to Dungey. Look, it's just this. Cooper has been on the podium like half of the races he's been in as a pro. He's been the fastest qualifier. This is unbelievable. Nearly half of the times that he's lined up as a pro. And he has 2 wins. 1 outdoor national win, 1 Supercross win. I think that's what's bothering him. He wants more victories. So he's put in the work during the break, and maybe he gets those wins, and he only has, I think, 7 points to make up on Ferrandis. So he's right there. We'll get to Justin Cooper. But once again, go to RacerXOnline.com/Weege if you want to subscribe to RacerX. Yoshimura-RD.com to check out the RS12 exhaust system, now shipping for the YZ250F. Now, here's Justin Cooper.
You're the first 250 guy I've talked to about this, so the questions are totally different. We've been talking so much about 7 races, 7 races, 7 races. You can't leave Utah. There's not enough time. Your schedule is quite a bit different than what we've been talking about compared to the 450 guys.
Yeah, luckily I'm the second coast to go, too, so they're going to get all that. I'm not going to have any, cobwebs to brush off. I'll see what's going down there. And, that's nice about it. But, I'll be cheering on my teammates first and, seeing how everything's going down first before I jump into it.
Yeah, that's a big advantage. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the first 2 races are east, I think, right?
The first 3. The
First 3
I
are
think.
east.
Yeah.
Wow. So you get a whole nother week and a half basically before you got to go down there.
Yeah, exactly. I got a week and a half. I'll get to watch the first 3 races, and then I think we show up 4 days before my first race and get tested and all that kind of good stuff, and then jump right into it.
Okay, now seeing some of the interviews we've had with you and your Instagram posts and all that, it sounds like you never really stopped with the work. Have you ramped anything back up now that racing is back online, or were you just doing the same thing the whole time anyway?
We did a lot of outdoor testing in the beginning of it once it got canceled, but then we kind of got a glimpse of, hope that Supercross was coming back, and it eventually did, obviously, but we started getting on Supercross, I think 3 weeks ago. So we're in full swing Supercross right now, feeling good on the bike, done, little changes here and there, but really feeling good and ready to go back racing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone I've asked, it's like, is this another round 1? Like, are there things you learned and can work on and improve on? Do you think you'll be better than you even were, back in January?
I hope so, because I do have some speed I need some speed to run with those front 2. And I was just a little bit off. So that's what we've been working on. I've been really putting in the work to find that little extra that I need to, go out and win these races, because that's what it's going to take to, win this championship.
Wow, you're being straight up about it. Yeah, you were solid in the last 2 races, but Ferrandis and Fortner were up ahead, and you were almost there. So you're actually admitting you just have to find some speed. I never hear riders say that. At least you know what you got to do.
Yeah, I think so. A start would help, but I'm going to need to beat them straight up. So it's definitely going to come down to speed, endurance. I think we all have endurance. So yeah, it's just giving it everything I got, and that's really how I've been riding lately. So it'll be interesting to see how, maybe we come back and it's like an Anaheim 1 again. Everyone's nervous and no one knows what to expect. I kind of hope it goes down like that, because I think I'll thrive in that situation. But either way, I've been riding basically as good as I can, and trying to get comfortable with that new pace. So hopefully I can show that once racing comes up.
Is there literally like a lap time somewhere that is telling you that you've increased that pace? Or can you not compare test track days from 5 months ago? Does that not work?
It's a different track now, but I ride with Shane McElrath and now Colt Nichols. He's back on the bike. So, but me and Shane have been riding together for the last 6 months. So we know, and we both feel like we've upped our game a little bit, and I definitely feel a lot more confident on Supercross. Just more time. It's all experience with this stuff, and I really feel like I'm in a better spot than what I was when we left at San Diego. So, really just hoping to bring it to the races and see what I can do.
Dude, I think people forget actually how new you are to Supercross, because you've kind of been a contender, like since the minute you turned pro outdoors. Then you missed the first whole season essentially for you in Supercross. You were a contender in the East for the title last year. You're a contender for the West for the title this year. It makes it seem like, oh, Cooper's been around. But really, this is midway through your second season, right? That's not that much.
Yeah, I think I only have like 15 races under my belt in Supercross. But yeah, it is my second full year, and it's tough. It really is tough, like trying to chase these guys down that have been doing it for quite a bit longer than you, and I always feel like I'm chasing the 8 ball, like they got something on me, and I'm just trying my best to keep up with them. So I'm doing everything I can right now to put myself in a position to where I can go out and win when we come back, and that's definitely the goal. So like I said, I've been riding like I want to win.
Okay, when you finally go to Utah there, and the first 3 races are East and you're a West guy. Once you get there, are you in for the duration? Because the way they've timed this out, you can't really leave. You're allowed to, but there's not enough time because you got to get tested each time. So are you in? Once you're in, you're in?
Once I'm in, I'm in. I think it's the same for the East Coast boys too. We've got a big house down there over there, and I think we're gonna, bring what we need for training and stuff like that, and just we're gonna be there from the start. And I think we'll be able to get some riding in. We'll bring a couple extra bikes, and we'll be doing cycling and all that good stuff. So we're just going to make a trip out of it. The whole team's going to be there, so there's no reason to, come back and, ride once or twice here in California. So we're going to stick it out, and it should be fun. It's going to be a vacation.
I know it's kind of, some of the guys I'm talking to, like I talked to Justin Brayton yesterday, and he's like, hey, I've never raced like this in the United States, like living in one place, going to the same track over and over. Maybe I'll make the most of it. Maybe it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, I've never been to Salt Lake City myself, so be cool to, stay there for a month and see what it has to offer. But when it comes down to it, we're there to race, and we're going there to win. So we'll have some fun there, but we'll keep it strictly business, I'm sure.
Well, look, I know you're all going to bring the bicycles, and especially, by the way, for mountain biking, this is like a haven. But because of the elevation and because you got to race so often in a short amount of time, do you need to respect that a little bit? Like, you need to not hammer down as much as you could, especially with elevation.
Yeah, that's probably a better question for a 450 guy, but we have obviously a couple races here and there. But, on the down weeks where the East Coast is back racing, we'll, maybe do a little bit harder of workouts and stuff like that. But I think when we're racing, straight in a row, there won't be time to, do those workouts that you normally do during the week, because you're going to need recovery from the race before. And it's tough. We're going to leave it up to the trainers on this one. I'm sure I'll listen to Garrett Swanepoel and tells whatever he tells me, I'll respect it and do it.
Did I see, were you guys like working out on somebody's garage and driveway through some of this lockdown?
We've been in, at Swanee's garage. So he has a neighbor that gave him, the stuff that we need to do our workouts. And we've been there ever since. We just don't feel like it's necessary to take the extra risk to go out and go to a public gym. So right now, it's working fine. So, why change it at the moment? And it is a little, it's not ideal, but it works. It gets the job done, and that's where we've been ever since.
Dude, wasn't there like a super duper heat wave like 2 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, it was actually pretty bad. Like, I thought this was the start of summer, but luckily it cooled back down. But we were riding Supercross, and the track would go away so fast. It was like 97 degrees, just no breeze, just dry heat. It wasn't fun, but luckily it passed over. It's pretty nice here now. It's chilly in the morning, and it's like about 70, 75 during the day. So the weather is nice right now.
But was this like literally a bunch of super sweaty dudes in someone's driveway and garage pumping iron? And the neighborhood must have been like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah, we split up a little bit, but it's definitely getting sweaty in there. And it's not ideal, but like I said, but it gets the job done. And let's just hope we don't have to do it for the full summer.
Yeah, that's right. Well, knowing Swanee, he'd probably like, hey, if anyone has any thoughts of I'm going to get a nice break right now, probably no breaks, or not a big one. No. It's been pretty, like, we haven't changed much from the program. It's been, by the time that we were like, oh, should we start backing it down? It was like, all right, we're going back racing. So maybe a little bit here and there, but mostly it's been the same thing since we've started, or since we stopped racing. Hey, so when you get out there, are you going to be able to ride? Have you figured that out? Are you going to have a track? Like, how's that part work? Or do you not need to?
I don't think we're too worried about that at the moment. If one of us thinks that we mentally we need it, then maybe, we'll go ride, try to find someone to ride. But as for me, I don't think I'll need it. I'll just, go race to race and, do my off the bike training in between. So, other than that, I don't see it happening. There's a chance, but I don't need it. I think with all the work we're doing right now, we're going to be ready to race. And, all the off the bike training will be good, and we'll get a little bit of a break from riding in between races, which is, also good.
I'm kind of impressed because most riders are saying they either don't have a way to ride or they're not even looking into it because they don't think they need it. So I'm thinking you guys are like robots, and it's like if you don't get to do most of the time you ride between races. And if you don't get to do that, you're going to be all freaked out, worried, nervous. But it seems like you're cool with it. Like you're just not going to let that bother you, even though it's a totally different type of routine.
Yeah, I see where they're coming from. Like that is a thing when you have a specific program like every week, you're going to obviously, second guess yourself and be like, hey, do I actually need to ride in between racing?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen that way for me, but there's definitely people that are going to need to ride in between the races just to mentally be there. I think mentally be okay. But other than that, I don't think it's going to get to me like that. I think I'll be fine without riding, but we have bikes there just in case.
There you go. Do you get along with the teammates well enough? Can you handle this all living in a house thing, or are we going to have some issues eventually?
Luckily, I think my teammate isn't staying in the house on the West Coast, but I'll be with the East Coast boys. So as for me, I think I'll be fine. So East Coast boys should be fine too, because Colt isn't in the championship, and I think we'll all get along really well. And it's a pretty nice house, so I'm pretty excited. It's got a hot tub and it's got a movie theater and all this stuff. So I think we'll be able to have a good time there, and I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
Is there gonna be an argument over who does the dishes though and chores like that? How you gonna split that, bro?
Oof, we'll have to leave that to the girls, I think.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, who's like the parental responsible one that has to figure this out? The girls will figure it out.
Well, the girls will have to figure it out because we'll be busy.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You guys are doing man stuff like riding bicycles and training. Yeah. Well, yeah, so your teammate's not staying there. That's the one interesting thing. Like most of your team, you guys train with Gareth Swanepoel. Ferrandis is off on a separate deal. Do you even ride with him much, or is that even separate too?
Yeah, to be honest, it's separate. I haven't ridden with him since San Diego. So,
wow. You mean the race?
Yeah, the race. I haven't. Wow. We split days, and we go to the test track at different days. I don't mind riding with him, but I don't think he feels the same about me. So he does his own thing. He has his own schedule with his trainer, and we do our own thing. So me, Colt, and Shane all ride together, push each other, and Dylan does his own program. So I haven't done much with him.
But you're not mean mugging each other? Not mean mugging each other, or are you mean mugging?
Oh, no, we respect each other, I think. Yeah. So as far as I know. But other than that, it's everything's good between us.
Yep. Just go racing. As far as the rest of it, like outdoors, man, you were a title contender. I could even say two years in a row. Last year for sure. I don't know when that's going to start. I certainly hope it does start at some point. But it sounds like you already got some of that work done. If it does come back, it's supposed to come back in July. Kind of get a head start.
Yeah, I have way too many motos under my belt at this point.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sick of outdoors already. And I'm actually going to go. We did Tuesday, Thursday this week, Supercross. And I'm actually going to go out to Pala tomorrow and ride some outdoors, switch it up a little bit. And I haven't ridden outdoors since I started Supercross, so 3 to 4 weeks. So I just want to freshen up on that. And, I wasn't going to ride tomorrow at all, but I just figured I'd go out to Pala and, put some time in on the motocross track, have a little bit of fun, and ride with the amateur teammates. They're getting ready for regional. So go ride with them, and hopefully they don't put it to me.
Yeah. Listen, though, dude, like, I think that says something that you could take a day off. You don't have to ride outdoors right now, but you actually still feel like it. Like, to me, that shows a little bit of mojo there that you actually want to.
Yeah, back to the mental game. I feel like I'm not fresh on outdoors anymore, so I gotta freshen up and get out there. But I think I don't want to. I know the outdoors are coming. It's not certain yet, but I don't want to get stuck not feeling ready and have that mentality that I haven't been on outdoors for a while now, and I don't have it. So it's definitely a whole different ball game in outdoors, and you have to ride way differently. So definitely won't hurt to get back on outdoors for a day.
Okay, you got your own house in California now, right? You're a homeowner, I believe happened, right?
Yeah, I got it at the end of, or in the middle of the outdoor season last year. So everything's everything feels like home now, and it is starting to feel like home. It feels like California is my home, so it's cool. I like it, and it's all new for me.
Are you one of those guys? You got like moto dudes crashing in guest rooms and paying rent or hanging out all the time? Is it like the moto people just coming in the door nonstop? How does that work for you? Are you kind of on your own?
I have 2 roommates with me.
Okay.
So it's pretty good. We have a guest bedroom that if someone comes over, they can stay there, whatever. But it works out really good. I've had 2 roommates since I moved in, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. So
are these moto dudes? Are these moto guys?
Yeah. So one of them is my teammate, and they're both on the team. One's Garrett Fry, and Jeremy Coker is the guy that builds our engines. So it's a good effort here, and everyone respects everything. So all in all, it's been great, and everything's been just like I planned.
Okay, now you mentioned the women. You have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I do. She's actually living here with me too.
Does she ever have to say, "Will you guys stop talking about dirt bikes? Just stop. Give me a break."
Yeah, it's more like stop watching on YouTube because we get so bored, and we bring up the archives on YouTube and watch all that old stuff.
I see. It's moto pretty much never stops in this house.
It's a lifestyle. I mean, I can't get away from it. I gotta always can learn something, and always watching, what guys did in the past that I can, try and copy or something like that.
Oh, good. Just give me an example. Like what year, how far back do you go? Or is there like a certain, I remember this race, this guy, or this year, this guy that I was watching lately. You got an example of what you're talking about?
I mean, I've watched bar to bar 2009 through 2018 or so. East, West, 450, all of it.
Who is there a guy you pick stuff up on? Like, you're watching Stu, you watching Chad, like stuff like that?
All of them. I mean, you can throw a race on, and I'll be like, I'll see one lap of the race, and I'll know who wins it. So,
wow,
it's learning from everyone. I mean, you're watching everyone in that. It's like watching a new race. You kind of forget what happened because you might have, you've only watched it once, and it's so long ago. So, you learn from everyone. It's not just one person, and you'll have a guy that does good one night, and you'll see what they're doing different. So it's all good. I've watched all of them now, so I'm out of stuff to watch.
It doesn't go back too far. Like if you go to 2009, it still applies. It's not like bikes or tracks or technique have changed enough. Like there's still stuff it works then, it could work now.
Yeah, no, like I was watching the other day James Stewart on a 125, and he was doing like rhythms that like I swear he would be able to keep up with me today on a 250F. Just how good he was riding, and that's probably why he made everyone look so silly back then. But dude was unreal on the 125 days, and just the stuff he did and how far that guy came is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good to say that this is like 18 years ago and it doesn't look dated. You're not like, well, I thought it was fast back then, but it looks slow now. Nope, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, exactly. That you can bet the bikes were not as good as they are today, and they're still finding ways to go that fast.
Wow. Okay, so you do eventually drive the girlfriend nuts. Like, stop with the YouTube. Talk about something else. It does happen.
Yeah, quarantine is getting rough. You got to separate when you can, and I still live a pretty busy lifestyle. Not much has changed, but when I come home from the gym and the track, it's just sitting on the couch now. So it's we got a lot of free time on our hands.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that leads me to the last thing, dude. You must just be relieved. Like you have a date. You have an actual date. Yours is on May 31st, but at least it's going to end. You will go to the racetrack.
Yeah, like it's been so uncertain lately, and you're like, what do I train for? Outdoor Supercross? What are we doing? Like, it came to a point where you just forget about it. Like, we'll just wait till we hear something, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing. So it's pretty much how it's been, just waiting on a weekly basis to hear something, something that we're going racing. And it just finally happened. So now it's cool. Now we have something to look forward to, try for. And, now we have a goal, I feel, to get in there, do what we need to do, and try and go for the championship. So now it's all the focus is on that. And, each day at the test track is that. It's we're striving to be better. We're striving to win these races and try and go for the championship.
Yeah, dude, because you're like 7 points down. It would have been such a bummer to be like, sorry, it's over. You didn't get your chance to try to make those points up. It would have been a bummer.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen that way in the beginning. I think.
Yeah.
I thought they were just going to, that's it.
Yep.
The no championships or there is going to be champions. We're going to crown them as it is. And I would have really felt robbed of that one, because if I knew it would have been that way, I don't think I would have went down at Phoenix and got 9th. So we all have had our bad races. That's the thing. And I was the last one to do it, make that big mistake, which I feel like I was in the best opportunity to take advantage of all of that. And just when I didn't see it coming, it hit me. So it's been an interesting year. And I think we only got 3 races left, but it's going to be consistency. And it's going to be consistently fast, because I think all 3 of us are going to be up there fighting for the win. And we'll see what we can do. We've been training hard for this.
Yeah, well, don't forget, they still are keeping the East-West showdown deal for the last one. So there's still a chance that things get crazy.
It's a really good point. There's a lot of fast dudes in the 250 class, and to throw them all together, it's going to be, you could have one of us get 10th. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, especially if we go like down in the first turn or something. It's not, no one's going to be coming through the pack that quick. So it's going to be interesting. There's still so much racing to go, and still so much that can happen. It's so unpredictable, and I'm really excited for it. I think we're going to put our best foot forward, and I think we got what it takes to, run for these wins, and really excited to see how this second half is going to, play out, because of the work we've been putting in, and just excited to go back racing. It's been awesome. It's been really boring.
Well, that's what I want to hear. Like, it's better than like, oh man, I'm sketched out, I'm out of sorts, it's going to be weird. Like, I'd way rather hear racers say they want to go racing. That's the cool part. Like, you don't seem to care what the weirdo circumstances are. You just want to line up and go. That's awesome, I think. Yeah,
it's gonna be weird for everyone, but it's at the end of the day, it's the same thing we were doing 3 months ago. So, except with no fans, that's gonna be honestly pretty weird. It's gonna be weird, but just gonna go in there, see what we got.
No track walk, by the way, too. Have you sized that one up?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the animated track map a couple times, I think.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be weird just going out and rolling the track. Like, I feel like it's easier to forget what you're rolling at that point. Like, I feel like you get more of a clue when you're out on the track on foot. But that's what we do at the test track. So when we get our new track there, we just roll around. Might look at it real quick, but I'm sure we'll get a glimpse of it, whether it's pictures or something like that. But as long as we can, see the track, what the obstacles are, then we might know what we're in for. So
it goes back to your moto house. The day before, you guys are probably going to talk about the track map for like 7 consecutive hours, probably. So you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I hope it's not that gnarly. I just want to go out there, and we can talk about it after first practice. What I need to do better, but none of that before the race.
Okay. All right. It doesn't even matter until you're out there. Cool. All right. Get back to it. I usually say, hey, thanks for the time. Then for a while I was like, who cares about the time? We got nothing but time. But now it's actually like somewhat busy season. So get back to work.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for this call for like a half hour now, so you ain't wasting my time. Got nothing better to do right now.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't feel so bad. Well, you're either going to talk moto with me. Yeah. You're going to talk moto with me, or you're going to talk moto with your roommates. So what's the difference?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Might as well.
All right,
might as well share it.
Yep. We'll see you at so this would be the 4th race of 7 before we see you West guys show up.
Yeah, I believe it's June 7th or 10th or something like that.
Okay.
So see you then, and ready to do battle.
That's our show with the Yamaha teammates, and we'll have more. I have Chase Sexton and 250 rookies coming up later today. We'll give you a 2-for podcast here on a Thursday, getting you ready for racing on Sunday. That's it. Thanks to our sponsor, Yoshimura, and, of course, RacerXOnline.com and RacerX Magazine. We'll be back because racing's back this Sunday. Now it's time to go get a swab stuck up my nose. Can't wait.